Hi everyone, welcome to the video. This week it's all about, as a academic supervisor, being PhD project idea ready. Hi, welcome to the channel. My name is Caroline. I'm a UK academic, so I'm a specialist in physics, and I lecture and I research and I teach here at a UK university. That was quite a long intro. Well, it was quite a long kind of title given to this particular video. I didn't know quite how to phrase it, but it's all about being, as a supervisor, ready with a PhD project idea, because you never know when you might get an opportunity to suddenly have a PhD project. As a UK-based lecturer, part of my job is teaching and part of my job is research. And within research, I do a lot of projects with either PhD researchers or master student project students, and it's an amazing way to look at different lines of research within your chosen field. And so part of my job is making sure that I've got PhD students undertaking meaningful research. I think I've made a video in the past about how PhD students are funded, but they can be either funded by themselves, funded by an organisation, and that organisation could be a research council, or they might receive funding maybe through some kind of national or country-based organisation. And as a PhD supervisor, I think it's a really good idea to always have at least one PhD project idea ready to go at any point in time. Now, of course, I'm speaking from the perspective of a physicist, and so I'm really intrigued to know whether this video resonates to you on your expertise and area, especially if you work maybe outside the STEM, so science, technology, engineering and mathematics. Do you find the same, that you always need to have a PhD idea ready to go just in case? There's a couple of reasons why I like to be ready with a PhD project idea. And the first up actually is to put it on the website, which I actually need to update thinking about it really, but to put it on your university profile website. And that means that prospective students looking at your research area can both see the research field that you work in and the kind of opportunity that might exist for them to get involved with the research. This is especially useful if you're approached by students who have their own funding. And so, every year I'm very fortunate to get approaches from students who are coming with their own financial backing. So maybe, their home government has decided to fund them. Maybe they've got funding through industry. Maybe they've got some kind of personal sponsorship. But these are people who are in a position to self-fund their PhD and maybe are looking to align to a topic inside your research area. And it could be that they're coming with their own particular PhD idea. And that's, most typical if they're coming, especially from like an industry background, is that they'll need to do a PhD that is in some way connected to their industrial sponsor. And sometimes you get people who are just interested in your particular area who want to do a PhD with you. And if you've got a PhD project idea ready to go, even if that's not a project that necessarily aligns to what they're needing, it allows people who are prospectively looking at your research area to go, oh, that's what this particular academic is focused on or interested in, could I align within their research group? So that's the first reason I would have a PhD project idea ready to go. And the second reason, and again, maybe this is just more within the sciences or the engineering subjects, is, it's happened a few times that somebody said to me, hey, I've got money, or I'm part of this large organisation, or I'm part of this larger funding group, and we are looking for PhD project ideas. Do you have any? And this could come in from an external organisation. So I've been approached by external kind of research groups that have been awarded particular pots of money to do particular kind of themed research. And they might come to me and say, hey, you work on particular physics topics that would align potentially within our research. Do you have any PhD project ideas? And also actually with internal funding at the university. So the university might put out things like we call doctoral training grants. They might have internal kind of funding for particular themed areas within the university that are reserved. And again, you can get emails and approaches saying, hey, do you have any PhD idea topics that you could go right now into this particular funded area? And it's really useful if you can sit with a ready-made PhD that you can then roll out and go, yes, I've got this PhD project idea and I think it could be suitable for your area. Now, obviously, there's going to be challenges with this. PhD project ideas change over time. And maybe the idea that I was holding a few years ago, maybe somebody's now done that project, or the research field has moved on. And so actually that research project is no longer credible or viable or needed. And so actually you need to, as a supervisor, keep looking at your portfolio and saying, okay, what is a relevant PhD project for right now? What would be an idea that would resonate right now and be useful and interesting? And of course, if you're approached by somebody that's got funding, be that industry or government-based or research-based, and they're inviting you to put a PhD project for consideration into that mix, you might need to tweak your PhD project idea to make sure that it aligns to that particular organisation or group's interests. But usually they're approaching you because they're interested in the research that you are doing already, and therefore usually you don't really need to necessarily stretch or change your research area that much, because you are naturally aligning to the reason they kind of chatted to you in the first place. I hope this is making some sort of sense. But I just think if you are an academic and you are leading a research team or a research area, and that you have PhD students, alongside having the current projects that are running, it's always good to have like a updated, rolling, current PhD project idea that if somebody came to you and said, hey, I've got funding, that's the project idea you would look to do next. And it also forces you then as the academic to say, okay, what is the PhD project idea I'd like to do at this point of my career, this point of my time, and why is that? And so what I find is that as I change these project ideas as things go through, I'm looking at my past research and saying, okay, well, I've done this and I've done that, and our amazing team of researchers have got these wonderful papers out in these particular areas, and actually based on that amazing research, this is the topic, this is the thing that now needs somebody to research it. And so that is the thing that I would put into a PhD project idea. So if money came along, I'd be like, yes, we've done all this cool stuff in the past, and people have done amazing research in this area, and now we'd like to look at topic X. And it just means that you're ready to go, because sometimes you can get an unexpected email or invitation to put forward a project idea, and it's really helpful if you haven't got to spend ages of your time thinking, oh, what would I do? What can I put forward? If you've got a current topic that you're really interested to research, then that is the one you really want to put forward. So let me know, do you, as an academic, do you have a current project PhD idea always ready to go? Do you kind of maybe instead have people approach you who want to be students who always come with their own particular project idea? Or do you never have project ideas ready and you just wait for the funding calls and then try to align your project ideas to the funding calls? I'd be so intrigued to know how we all deal with this differently in academia, and how you kind of pitch your PhD project ideas to match your research and the funding that you can draw from. Let me know. I mean, I'm sure it's a bit of a complicated, convoluted topic. And maybe if you're not working as an academic at the moment, you're thinking, what on earth are you going on about? But yeah, PhD funding and PhD project ideas, I find, at least within physics, it is essential for me to have a project idea ready to go, because you never know when you might need it. Let me know in the comments. If you are new to the channel, we tackle all sorts of different academic topics here. So things from interviewing to everyday life to career progression. So if you fancy it, hit subscribe. It is a free resource. So here every single Monday at 10 o'clock. Well, every single, more or less, every Monday at 10 o'clock here in the UK. But have an awesome week. Take care. And I'll see you next week for another academic video. Bye.